Okay, now we need to know how to represent quantitative variables with graphs. And never dismiss the power of a dot plot. You will be having a graph throughout the year, and a dot plot is a really nice, quick way to represent a quantitative variable. So what I have here is I have created a dot plot that displays the distribution of the number of turnovers in Oakland Raiders 16 regular season games in 2009. So I have the data right there. And then, like I normally teach, I've talked about this with you guys before at the beginning of the class. I like to use the whole line down the center when I'm teaching something. So I have steps or definitions over here on the right, and then I have the actual work on the left. And those of you who have had me before in Algebra 2 know that's how I work, okay? So step one, whenever you're graphing, you want to just look at the minimum and the maximum of your data so you know how to scale your data. Because although I went by ones here because my minimum was 0 and my maximum was 4, let's say our minimum was 0 and our maximum was 400. We don't necessarily want to go by ones then, right? We want to go by 100s or whatever it may be, okay? So with that min and the max, you decide your scale, you mark it out. We went by 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. I would get in trouble with the College Board because I don't have a label here. So I would want to put the number, whoops, not the dollars, number of turnovers in the Raiders 16 regular season games, okay? And then what I do is I put the dots. Now, I am not a fan of a dot. I'm a fan of an X, okay? So I would put an X here because that represents that first 0. Now, I don't go in order. I would start with 3, right? So this 3 went there first. I put an X there, okay? Then next I see a 0, so I put an X there, right? And I just keep going. Oh, I saw another 3. And then another 3. And then a 2. And then a 4. Now, why am I doing this? I want to show you here. And then a 1. Okay, so here's the catch. And then a 2. When you are making a dot plot, see, this is my second observation of a 2, right? I have my first 2 there, and here's my second 2. I have 3 observations of 3. So I have my first 3, my second 3, and my third 3. All of your first observations here in green, those should all be in the same row approximately, so it's not misleading. Now, my second observation should all be in the same row. So I'm on this second 2 right here. So I want it to be in the same row with this second observation, right? Then I have my 3 again. My 1, again, a second observation, so in that row. Hopefully you can catch on to the rest. Just for time, I do want to move on, but that is our dot plot. Don't dismiss the power of it. It's super simple, easy, quick to do, especially when you don't have a lot of data. Okay, the next one is a stem plot. When you were in middle school, you learned it as a stem and leaf plot, okay? Let me cover up the steps here. So I have my data. I have grades on a recent test are as follows, okay? And step 1, when you're making a stem plot, well, before we do it, stem plots are really nice for small data sets as well because you can actually see the numbers versus a histogram, which we'll learn in a minute. So I do like stem plots when there's a small amount of data, although they're not common practice for regular like media outlets. You don't necessarily see a stem plot in like a CNN article or a Fox News article. You would see a histogram, okay? So we have our data here. We're gonna look at our min and our max. So our minimum, I think I already have an order for us, which is nice. Our minimum is 55 and our maximum is 102. Now I'm gonna take my trusty pen, see how well this works again. 55 and 102, okay? There's my min and max. Now what I wanna do from there is I wanna figure out what my stems should be. So that's step 2. And in order to figure out your stems, you wanna cover up the last digit of your min and your max. So you can almost imagine we could cross it off here, right? If I crossed off my last digit, okay? Why did I do that? That's gonna tell us what our stems are. So our stems in this case are gonna go from 5 to 10. And my pen's a little delayed, so forgive me, okay? So from 5 to 10. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna make a stem and leaf plot. And I wanna start with my stems, okay? I'm gonna write them down. I'm going from 5, I'm starting there. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now, when you are making a stem and leaf plot, I would suggest ordering the numbers first because it's going to make your life easier. Now that I have my stems up here, the next thing I want to do are add my leaves. So what are the leaves? So let's see if you can catch on. The first number I have here is 55, right? So I have my stem is 55. Give me a second. Uh-oh. My pen is not working very well. There we go. My leaf then, if you look at the number, the stem here is 55, right? The leaf then is 5, or I'm sorry, the stem is the 5 from the 50, and then the leaf is the 55. So I'm going to go 55, right? The next one is 56. So I already have the stem being that 50 there, that 5. So I just need to put a 6 for the leaf. Okay, done and done. My next number I see is 72. Okay, so I already have the stem of 7. I just need to add the leaf of 2. Done. Now 82 is my next one. I have the stem of 8. Okay, now I just need the leaf of 2. So 82. My next one's 84. Okay, so 80. So the stem is 8. That's already there. Then 4. So this number here represents 84. Now I want you to notice something. All of my first observations are in a nice column here. All of my second observations should be in a nice column as well. My next number, 89. So I have the stem of 8. I just need to add the leaf of 9. 92. 94. 95. And 96. And then finally 102. I have the stem of 10 already, so I just need the leaf of 2. And there is my stem and leaf plot. Now, some people will say, oh, Miss Opal, there's nothing for the 6. Did I actually have to put the 6 there? Yes, you do, because when we're going to describe, we're going to say, well, we have a gap in the 60s. We don't have any data there, okay? So that's important when we're describing. Let's move on to our next plot.